Hi, I'm Keena,
And I'm William.
and we are
We
the
are the
Nerdy
Nerdy
Weds.
Weds.
And today we are doing a how to play Dixit and a little brief review
Yeah.
of it. So we just did a podcast yesterday that you guys will hopefully go check out. We'll put a link in the description of this video. And in that podcast, we talked about or gave our recommendations for games that are good for a party. So party games. And Dixit Dixit was the only game that we both chose. So we thought, you know what? Why not talk about it on the YouTube channel this week? So that's what we're doing today. Will's going There's a little smirk on your face. What's going on?
Well, I just realized when we were setting up for this that our first board game episode we've released on our podcast and on our YouTube are freaking the most non-topical games we could have chosen. Who's having a party right now in the middle of COVID? Why did we choose party games?
Somebody's probably having a party, but you can do virtual parties and you can play on, what is it, Tabletopia?
Tabletopia.
And what's the other ones? There's
Board
some
Game
more.
Arena.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
and
sure that you can
play
find
this on
you
there.
can find Dixit on Tabletopia, probably on Tabletop Simulator.
So see, there you go. It's topical.
It is topical. All right,
Because
she salvaged me.
We've even played for someone's birthday party recently. We kind of showed up virtually, right?
The Jackbox.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are
Yes.
plenty of games that you can still play. You can still have virtual parties and play these games virtually. So yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to do the run through of how to play the game, and we're going to do a quick round, just one round of it.
The how to play on this game. This is the rule book. It's very complicated. It is literally a front and back single sheet of rules. So it's going to go quite quickly. I've set up for a 4-player game. Each player chooses a little bunny that corresponds to their color that they chose, and a deck, a stack of voting tokens. These voting tokens have numbers on them, 1 through 6. And depending on the number of players you have in the game, you would split it up. So this is a 4-player setup. So I'd take out 5 and 6 and toss them back in the box. The only exception to that, so if you had 5 players, you'd use the 5 chips, and 6 players, you'd use the 6 chips. Mm-hmm. The only exception to that is when you're playing 3 players. At that point, you would actually take 4 chips. No, sorry. You would take 5 chips. Because each of the other 2 players in the later part of the game would be submitting 2 cards instead of 1. The active player chooses 1, so you end up with 5 cards total, so you use 5 chips. So, but in a 4-player game, you're using 4 chips. And these will make more sense when we get to the actual voting for score section of the rules. So, the first player is the active player. And the active player looks at their deck of cards, and they pick a card out of the deck, out of their hand. In a 4-player game, 6 cards in our hands. And he will give a clue. Now, or he or she will give a clue. This clue can be anything you want. A single word, a combination of words, part of a poem, a proverb, a quote from a movie. It can be a lyric. It can be the title of a movie. It can literally be whatever you want it to be. And that clue should speak to the imagery on the card in some way that will make it discernible to at least one player at the table. Because you want somebody to pick your card. You don't want them to know they're picking your card. Well, you kind of do, but then again,
you just don't want everyone to pick your card.
So I'm going to say on one of my cards.
I'm trying not to look.
Yeah. I'm going to say on this one, a beginning. I'm not sure how good this clue is going to be, but it is a beginning. Now, each of the other players chooses a card. I can't vote. The active player doesn't vote. So the other players are going to choose a card. We're doing these random.
Right, and I'll randomly pick one from this one, since we don't actually have 4 players. So we randomly pick for player 3 and 4. And now I'm choosing my beginning card.
A beginning. So the active player takes the card. At this point, all players will draw a card from the deck to put in their hand to draw up to 6. So you always want to have 6 cards in your hand. So as the active player, I've got 4 cards. One of them is mine. The other 3 are from the other players. I want to shuffle these cards. I don't want to see the order. I don't want them to come out in any particular order. So once you shuffle them up pretty good, you give the clue as you present each card. So a beginning. And this one is this card. So a beginning. Could be the beginning of a journey. Going across the rainbow. A beginning. So this one has some, it's like teardrops of something with like different biomes inside of it. So a beginning. And this one here is a knife or something cutting a piece of grass that's holding it, or the grass is cutting itself. Mm-hmm. So a beginning. And then this one here is a beginning of sorts, I guess.
Okay. So he can't pick, so it would be players 2, 3, and 4 that would pick. And before we do that, in the comments, let us know which one of these cards you think is a beginning. And so, I'm going to go ahead and explain how I'm going to do this. I obviously get to choose, but then I get to choose for players 3 and 4 as well, because they don't exist.
Yep.
Okay, so I am going to choose, I'll tell you, I'm just going to say, that one, they've probably already put it in the comments if they're going to by now. That one with the rainbow, to me, is the best choice. If it was not mine, I would pick that one because I think it's perfect. The beginning of the rainbow, the end of the rainbow, beginning of a journey, he's on a horse, what have you. Perfect. But I know it's mine, so I'm not going to pick that one. So for my choice, I'm actually going to pick the biomes, because they're the beginning of creation, of plants, of environment, earth. Well, I'm just throwing earth in there. But they're the beginning of something. Okay. And then for for player 3, I'm going to pick these eggs because they look like eggs. I don't know what they're supposed to be. But they're the beginning of birth. Like, that's what eggs are. Like, they hatch. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, 4.
These chips.
This should be 2 then.
Yep, that one should be 2.
I messed up. Okay, explain the chips.
The chips should correspond. Your colored chip will correspond with the number underneath the card in which you're voting.
Okay. So I was green. That one was pink.
In the way this would work in an actual game, all the players would lay their chips down on the table or hold them face down in front of them, and then everyone would reveal their vote at the same time. So nobody can be swayed by somebody else's vote. So the last player would lay their chip down, whichever one they're voting for, and then all the votes would be revealed, and then the votes would be tallied.
Okay, I'm just going to pick this one at random for the other player, just to make it fair.
Okay, so now all votes are going to be tallied, so we know this one's going to go to 2, this one's going to go to 4, and this one's going to go to 3. So, the way we would score is nobody picked this card.
So I don't get any points.
For some reason, that was a great card.
Yeah, that was the best card.
So she doesn't get any points. But somebody did pick my card, which is the eggs.
It wasn't me. I still don't get any points.
So at least one player, but not all players, found the active player's card. Active player gains 3 points. Players who have found the card get 3 points. So I get 3 points, and the pink player gets 3 points. So we both go up on the track 3 points.
But someone who isn't the active player got their card chosen, so they should get points too. I think it's 1 point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, yes.
Both of those players get a point.
Yep. And she is the only one who didn't get any points this round.
I can't even win at a fake game. I should have cheated and voted for my own card.
Well, you voted on somebody else's card with chips that weren't yours. You
I know.
voted with
I
your own.
should have.
Yeah.
Because it's a random game and it's a fake game. But see, I don't cheat. He's always accusing me of cheating. Obviously, I don't cheat.
Well, the other ways that the scoring could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say nobody chose my card, and we actually have a scenario where everybody chose her card. So she would actually get 2 points for the...
I wouldn't be able to choose for myself, first off. But I would have gotten 2 points for the other 2 people who chose for my card.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, that's right. There would only be 2 active players playing on her card. And sure, her vote would have gone to somebody else.
You would have gotten 0 points because no one chose your card.
She would get 2 points plus 2 points because 2 people voted for her card. So she'd have got 4 points. And this person would have gotten 2 points plus 1 point. And this person, even though nobody voted for them, since I was the active player, they would have got 2 points. No bonuses because nobody chose their card. And I would have gotten 0 points. So the scoring is written right here on this.
Yes.
So, all players find the active player's card. All players get 2 points, except for the active player. Active player would get 0. So you want somebody to find your card, but not everybody to find your card. And that is really the game in a nutshell.
Yeah, very simple. So that leads right into what I like about the game. Because at this part, we're just going to talk about what we like about the game or dislike. I like that it's a very simple, straightforward game. Like he said, the rules are 1 page. We have played games where the rules are a book. So this is refreshing just to have a nice, simple game that you could just sit down, easily get started and playing. If someone's new to it, they could catch on really quickly. And if you forget something, it's right here, like he said, on the player board. I really like that. I also like that if someone has to leave or new people show up, they can easily jump into the game and play that. And I like that is not only fun to play, but also fun to watch, because sometimes you want to take a break from gaming when you're at a party. Maybe you just played a really heavy, meaty game and you just want to sit back for a little bit, watch other people play, and this is a good one to do that.
Yeah, we talked in the intro episode about developing a vocabulary. We were talking about video games at the time. This is a great introductory game to start developing a board game vocabulary, where you learn about a mechanic. And you can apply this mechanic into games that have an increasing level of difficulty. Now, this is still a very easy introductory game. It's not quite as easy as this one. It has a few more mechanics in it, but it uses the mechanic from this game into this game. So this mechanic, this kind of drafting kind of
shows some pictures and gives some clues and
Yeah.
have people try to guess. It is in this game, and then this game expands upon that.
Yes.
So you're
Takes it a
you're
different
right.
direction.
You're right. This is a good introductory game that lends into more.
And this game will
More
be featured
complex
on our
games.
channel at some point. I look forward to it. This is a beautiful game. It's a lot of fun. That's
Be a good one for
Mysterium.
us to do next month for Halloween.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing some spooky games, and that
Each
one's a
week,
ghost
yeah.
game. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's Dixit. It's a very simple card game. I love it for its simplicity, and again, it's a great game to introduce to people who don't play board games or think they don't play board games. It can adapt well to a variety of ages. And I think that it's an accessible game to a lot of people just based on its simplicity and with children. And it's a pretty game. It's a pretty game. In each expansion, there are, I saw like 9 expansions. There might be more online. Each one of them adds 84 cards, with each card having its own individual, unique piece of artwork on it. So I think it's a great game. It's a beautiful game, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. So anything else you have to say about it?
No, this is a very loved copy of Dixit that we bought used.
Mm-hmm.
All the
At Dice
components
Tower
are brand new,
Convention. Mm-hmm.
but the box has seen some better days.
Yeah, I was worried at first that we'd open it and there would be missing pieces, but everything was there and everything actually was in great shape considering the box was pretty battered.
Yeah.
But we got a great deal on it because we, like I said, got it at Dice Tower Convention, a board game convention.
Yeah, got it in the flea market.
In the flea market for a
Sunday
very,
morning flea
very
market.
cheap price.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else to add. Just try it if you haven't. If you have, let us know in the comments what you think about it. And hopefully you'll get to be able to do some virtual gaming, virtual parties, and play it.
Well, if you're lucky enough to have a kid in your house who's old enough to play, you got 3 players in your house old enough to play, a whole host
Yeah,
of
like our
games
friends,
open up
like
to you.
Kelly and Dave. There's the 2 of them, and
Yeah.
then their 2 kids. They can play it. They've got enough players already.
We only have us in the house. We need to adopt somebody just so we can have
We need to
a
adopt
third
just
player.
so we can play games.
Yeah, just so we have a third player in the house.
Okay.
But that's Dixit in a nutshell. We highly recommend it. It is it's Nerdy Weds approved.
Yes, nerdy. I like that. Nerdy West approved. So until
Someday they'll print that on a box.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Maybe. It'll be right there next to Dice Tower and Shut Up and Sit Down.
Oh, okay.
It'll say Nerdy Wed approved.
I like it. That's all we've got. I'm Keena,
And I'm William.
and we are the Nerdy Wes. Until next time, stay
Stay
nerdy.
nerdy.